Joined in studio by Viwe Dyasi. She's a certified financial planner at Absa. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. You've offered people tips on how to manage their money better. What would you say is the most important tip?
The most important tip is the most basic one, which is basically understanding your finances. That's where everything begins, because once you understand your finances, what makes your income every month, you are in a position to draft a budget.
If I'm watching and I don't have any idea of what you're speaking about, where would you say the first step would be? What would I look out for, and how would I then get to this point where I'm drawing this budget?
Fantastic. The first thing you do is, everybody, if you're working, you know exactly how much you earn, and you know exactly what you need per month to live. That's where it all starts. It all starts about the needs and the wants. You need to prioritize what you need. You need to prioritize what you want. Set them aside. And then you start obviously with what you need. So it always starts with that. It's very simple, and yet it's very difficult. I mean, the second thing to that is to look into your debts, because as we work, we might be borrowing money for several reasons. What are you borrowing money for? What are these things that you're borrowing money for? Which of them are important? Which of them are not that important? Hence, I said initially, your needs and your wants. And then once you have that, I think that is basically a construction of your budget.
You've also advocated for, before anything goes out of your account, taking 10% of your salary and putting it in savings. We've just heard that South Africans borrow more than they save. How would you say that people who are over-indebted and who are struggling to balance a budget would then put aside 10% of their salary, but it can go to their day-to-day expenses?
Yeah. So realistically, you need to start working off your debt first. It would be impossible and unrealistic for me to advocate that you must start saving 10% when you're actually heavily indebted. The first thing is to address that debt. And the first step, which is also very simple, quite difficult as well, is to write down your debt. Write it down, look at it, because that's the first thing you need to do, because everybody faces, I think all of us, we have debt, and there's a fear attached with debt because you need to pay it off. But ignoring that SMS and ignoring that letter that you receive is not going to make it go away. So we need to face the facts. You need to start off with your debt first. Yeah.
Another way that you've also talked about looking at your money is getting a second job or making sure you've got a second income stream. How would you go about this?
So there's a lot of ladies that you would know of, because I know this predominantly is ladies, that would be either selling a product here and there, be it as pots, be it it's cosmetic products.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts there. Be it the Tupperware that people always offer you whether you want it or not. But that's a simple way of starting to say, well, you know, I have this income that I'm making every month, but perhaps there is something else I can do with my time. And I think in actual fact, this is how big ideas begin for people.
What would the takeaway be, or the most important thing of how to, once you've got all these tips in your head, making sure that you stay on this path for the rest of 2018 and beyond?
Absolutely. We know every financial services provider has got people called financial advisors. It's very important to actually make sure that you see a financial advisor that is going to walk with you the journey. It's more like having a personal trainer when you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to be fit. It's the same principle. You need to find a professional that is going to assist you in your journey.
Thank you very much for your time. Viwe Dyasi talking to us there about some finance tips. She's from Absa.